What's the worst financial decision you've ever made? And what did you learn from it? I had a job with a startup where the owner gave me some unrealistic goals and told me if I hit them, he'd make it worth it to me. I had nothing better going on, so I said, heck it, I'll take that chance. I was salaried, so only getting paid for my 40 hours, while working 60+ hours a week for about a year. I hit the goals though, and he surprisingly followed through. He gave me a huge under-the-table bonus. More than I would have made if he just paid me the overtime. What did I do with that money? He said I should buy a house. It's enough for a down payment, and interest rates were really low at the time. Instead, I bought my dream car, a 1970 Challenger someone had thrown a 440 and T56 transmission into. Don't get me wrong, I love that car. But houses then literally cost half what they do now, and I still kick myself every time I think about it. Hey, but at least you can cry in a 1970 Challenger. I've pissed a lot of money into my parents' situation. I've come to the bitter realization that all their problems are the result of poor decisions and bad behavior, and no amount of money will ever dig them out of the hole they're in. Gosh, this is a frequent fight with my husband. His mom has a good job but is just a chronic overspender, and then needs us to bail her out. I know shit happens, but I can't imagine how humiliated I would be, at my big age, asking my adult children for money. Parents are supposed to be able to cushion their kids if they fall financially, not the other way around. I think a lot of them don't feel shame in asking and see it almost as reparations for raising the adult child, that they chose to have. Got $100K from my mom's life insurance and blew it within a few years. I was 19, and so dumb, and so depressed, with no guidance. I learned the importance of saving LOL. I did the same with about $50K from my dad when I was 21-ish. All I had to show for it was a crazy drug addiction. Lego's long-term strategy in the 90s was to hook kids on them, and then drop their dream sets when they had the money. I'm still learning from it. Do not, under any circumstances, loan money to a friend or co-sign any loans with them. It messes up your life for a long time when they do not pay their bills. Lent a friend maybe $200 over a few months. I doubt I'll ever see it, or him, for that matter, ever again. I have good friends who asked me to loan them money, but I tell them up front that I am actually just giving it to them. What they do after that is up to them. That way I spend zero time fretting, and sometimes I am pleasantly surprised. Don't try to buy your own stocks and expect to get a positive return unless you know what you're doing. It's index and mutual funds for me. Lesson learned. I bought $5,000 of a stock at 11:30 a.m. Ate lunch. Company went bankrupt by the time I got back to my desk at 1 p.m. My dad lost £10,000 doing this yesterday. I know he's lost at least £150,000 to trading and scams for definite, but I'm certain he's lost £250,000 in total over the years. He's addicted to getting rich quickly, and all logic is ignored. I was helping him out and trying to teach him how to recognize scams, phishing emails, etc. But on a couple of occasions, he would put a high-value, high-risk trade on while I was away. On the second occasion, I was out with my friend, and I got a call from him saying, "I've been scammed for £20,000, get over here and help me sort it out." I could feel my head starting to race with thoughts of frustration and anger, and then I had a thought. What if I just don't help him and chose my life over his self-destructive financial escapades? And simply responded with, "I have given all I can to help you, and this is what you do behind my back? You have made no effort to help yourself. I'm done." That was 2 years ago, and it was by far the best thing I've ever done for myself. Poor bastard didn't even realize he already was rich. He just needed to manage it properly to grow his wealth and actually stay rich. Infuriating. Good on you for drawing that line. I spent $23,000 on chemotherapy for a cat. Cat died anyway. My wife and I have never set a hard number on our dogs, but there have definitely been times in the past where cancer, arthritis, whatever treatments were going to cost a fortune and set us back financially. It all comes down to, is this animal happy, young, and still enjoying life, or would they be okay with letting go? Hard decision. Paying for insurance but not following through on claims. Got trip insurance for my honeymoon, had a medical incident and couldn't go. I made a call to see if I was covered, I was supposed to follow up, but I didn't. I can't even remember why. $5,000 down the drain. Now I follow up, not just on all my insurance claims but on everything that might get me money back. Warranties, refunds, X. I refuse to leave money on the table out of laziness or convenience. Move without securing a job first because I had a good amount saved up. It took me 6 months to find a job despite being in a high-demand profession and with experience. The job market is tough as fuck. I had $22,000 saved up. Drained it all. Spent $100,000 to get a commercial helicopter license, and then realized the life of a heli pilot wasn't good at all. Fixed-term contract work, traveling around the country looking for work, low pay, couldn't buy a house, build a relationship, have kids in the way I wanted. Took a desk job instead and took 12 years to pay the loan back. Never flew again. My young brain got swept away with the idea of being a helicopter pilot without thinking it through. In the end it worked out. Apart from loving the flight training and living on the airport, I also met my now wife. So the way I see it is it cost $100,000 to meet my wife, who is now the guiding light in my life. Went through a divorce and cashed out my 401k to get rid of the debt. It was an easy button and I didn't look at all my options or ask anyone's advice. I was 37. I literally took 14 years of my work life that I'd saved and threw it away. I started over at 37 and am now financially healthy with my new husband. But I know it would have added another half mother-in-law or more to my balances and I could retire earlier. Marrying the wrong person. Don't marry the wrong person. I went to art school and paid for it with student loans. I learned that I'm an idiot. I had a friend in high school get a full scholarship to Harvard and majored in art. Her first job out of college paid a little more than minimum wage. Lending friends or family significant amounts of money, just don't. Don't mind lending you a few hundred until payday or something. But have had 2 different situations where I played myself. Lent an uncle $5,000 in like 2015. I was young and doing okay. Uncle was in hard times. Asked him about it numerous times. Always comes up with a new excuse as why he can't pay me. I asked just to pay back monthly. Throw me $50 a check or something to work it off. Haven't seen a penny from him. We rarely talk anymore, and it's definitely ruined our relationship. Had a good buddy who I was friends with for years. Got himself in a bad situation. Begged for some help and the sucker I was. Lent him $3,000 to help out. It's crazy cause the work this dude put in to sucker me was honestly impressive. Had me totally convinced he just needed help and genuinely wanted to turn his life around. Saw the dude few days later, gooned out of his mind. Guy promised me he was using my money to get a new apartment to get away from some people. Plot twist, he used it for drugs and alcohol. Lesson learned, don't lend out money unless you expect to lose it. That extra $8,000 could have helped me out a boatload over the years. Or at minimum, took the wife and I on a sick vacation, haha. Going to a 4-year university right after high school. I could have gotten my Gen Eds done at community college for free and saved so much money before transferring to a 4-year. I was too worried about what other people like my parents, classmates, and guidance counselors thought of me. If I have kids of my own one day, I'll recommend they go to community college first. I didn't file the proper form when I surrendered my house before foreclosure in 2016. 1. Form. Didn't know, used an online tax service and that was that? I was told by the collector I would never hear from them again. Oh, how wrong I was. See, the IRS thinks I owe taxes on the sale of the property. But I just handed over the property under the guise of washing my hands of the dire situation. Last time I checked, the IRS wants over 100 grand. I got nothing for the house. Now I had to go to a CPA. My tax guy has delayed them. Tried too casually to get a tax advocate to correct the problem. Almost 9 years later, they have kept every refund and I have this still hanging over our heads. The IRS has not waived a thing. All because of one form. Lost a house. Lost all my money I put into the house. Currently paying twice as much in rent as my previous house payments. Not a dime to spare. 1. Form. Shoulda. Coulda. Woulda. Timeshare. For those who don't know, this is a vacation property that multiple people share ownership of, each getting to use it for a specific period of time during the year. Not only is it a scam, It's the scam that you're legally required to continue to be scammed by. Once you own one, you have pay maintenance fees. But no big deal, just find someone who will buy it from you, right? No one wants them. You can't sell them for $1. They have negative value. Okay, but can I pay someone to take it from me just so I can stop paying these fees? There are companies you can pay to do that. Those companies are, themselves, scams. They know that people who buy timeshares are easy marks, so it's the perfect scam. Take their money, promise to get rid of their timeshare for them, never actually do so. I've fortunately not fallen for this scam and never will, but family has. I didn't find out about the situation until after they had already paid money to the timeshare exit company. The whole situation is beyond infuriating. Gambling. You can't outgamble your losses. Losing is not a problem in gambling. If you lost every time, you will not gamble anymore. Winning, on the other hand, is the problem. The more you win, the more you increase your stakes. You lose some, win some. No big deal. I went to a casino once with €2 and came out with 500. The next day went in with 150 and ended up with negative €300. It's a brutal cycle where the money you make will not be enough to make long-term changes in your life, and you'll lose them anyway on the next round of gambling. Meanwhile, your brain gets so hooked on that you make radical, illogical financial decisions on your daily life, even if it's not gambling. Like buying expensive stuff for your soulmate, cause you either feel bad losing the same amount last night or feel confident that you can make more money if you won. Paid $7,000 to a witch to have her cast spells to get my ex back. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.